Hey, what's up? My name is Randy Scott Slavin, and I am the director, editor, writer, producer. I guess it'd probably be easier to just tell you what I didn't do in the film Crawl Space. I didn't DP it. Joe DeSalvo, an amazing DP, did that. I did everything else. I didn't color correct it. So hello, Horror Film Festival, Horror Underground Film and Screenplay Festival. Thanks for showing my film. Thanks for the feedback. It was really cool hearing other people's thoughts about my film, especially when they're positive. It usually sucks when they're not positive, but so I just wanted to answer some of these questions that were sent over to me, and I hope that this is the format that you want to use them in. If not, then no big deal. Use them as you will. So the first question is, what motivated me to make this film? And the short answer is this camera, the Osmo Action Pro, which is featured in the film, was actually sent to me by DJI. They asked me if I want to do a camera review, but I don't do camera reviews, so I decided that I want to do a short film with it. And I thought it was an interesting challenge to make a short film using an action camera, especially because horror films are usually done in the darkness, which this one was done too. And, action cameras are not really meant for the dark, typically. But this actually has really great quality. It's 10-bit log, small sensor, a lot of different options, really amazing, including the phenomenal little DJI microphone that's right here that connects wirelessly. Even the Sony cams don't do that much stuff. It's kind of amazing. So basically they sent me the camera and I was like, hey, I'll play with it and see what's up. So I wrote this short film and decided to make it. And I decided to make a horror film because I wrote a sci-fi horror feature last year, and I wanted to just kind of play around with some of my favorite elements of the horror world. I wanted to just play around with some suspense and scares and things like that in a very small and contained kind of way, and so that's what I did. Second question here is, from the idea to the finished product, how long did it take you to make this film? I'd probably say maybe like about a month. I wrote it and then I shot it pretty quickly. I think the longest part was actually the casting, was getting the main male star, Dad, great name, right? Grill guy who has a pretty amazing following on Instagram, and I've followed him for a long time, and he's like super funny, and I just figured he's like a very like funny everyman, and they say that the difference between comedy and horror is the music. So I figured maybe we can get him to be good at horror. So that's cool. And that took the most amount of time. And then we shot it all in one day, not even a long day. It was like 8 hours. And then I edited the film after that for, a few days after that. And then it got colored, and that's it. So overall, it was pretty quick. The next question is, how would you describe your film in 2 words? Nightmare City. To me, this film is really kind of like true to form, in that like a lot of my most scary nights as a father came from hearing my daughter scream for me from the other room, and like just never knowing what is going to be on the other end of that call. So it's true to form, and actually I realized that like more often than not I like write from kind of things that happen that are real. So it's kind of nightmare fuel would be another couple good words. Not because the short is scary in and of itself that much. I mean, it's scary. But I think the idea of kind of like kids and like what kids really represent, especially when you're an adult, and the responsibility that they represent, is total nightmare fuel. Number 4, what was the biggest obstacle you faced in completing this film? Like I said earlier, I think just casting and getting the right talent was the most important for me. But once I got Grill Guy, it was totally good. It really wasn't that difficult, honestly. I mean, like the shooting with this camera is like kind of a breeze. It automatically connects to your phone, so you can like kind of like live monitor things and also have Bluetooth connection. So I'm not plugging in the camera. I mean, I guess I am plugging the camera, but ultimately it's got a lot of amazing features. If I were like a daily vlogger, forget it. I'd be using this all the time. So there weren't really that many obstacles. Sorry. I've been making commercials and stuff like that for a long time. So the actual act of like making projects is not that difficult for me. It's more just like, the kind of like internal struggles of like, is this script good enough? Is anybody going to like this? Actually, I don't really care whether anybody's going to like it. More just like, do I like this? Is this a waste of my time? Am I going to, it's more the kind of just creative struggle in general, but like I usually kind of blast right past that and throw caution to the wind. What were your initial reactions when watching the audience talk about your film in the feedback of the video? I liked hearing them talk. I mean, they had really good positive comments, so I'm totally fine with what they were saying. It would have been interesting if they had a little bit more kind of like a biting commentary, meaning they were a little bit more vicious about it. I feel like I'm pretty vicious. I used to have a film festival myself, a drone film festival, and I kind of prided myself on being very aggressive and like, I don't want to say not nice, because I honestly think that like a creative's job is to do the best they can. So it's like, if people are really asking for feedback, then that's what you want to give them. And then they can take that feedback for their next project. In general, though, I don't really give harsh feedback when something's finished, unless I'm really asked about it, because, then you're just a dick. But I liked getting the feedback, especially because it was all positive. I would have been interested to hear somebody kind of like dig into it in some way. But probably the first thing I would do would be like check that person out and figure out if I respected their creative opinion enough in terms of the things that they've done. I'm just being honest. When did you realize you wanted to make films? I realized I wanted to make films in 1989 when I watched Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. I think like 8 or 10 or something like that. And the movie just blew me away in every possible way. And I still love that movie, and I still love it even better than all Chris Nolan's Batmans. You can call me up and argue with me about that one, but I'll defend it to the death. Anyway, ever since I saw that, it's been a long time of making audiovisual projects, and I'm kind of really excited to say that I'm like really diving back into my feature film aspirations and aiming towards making a feature this year, which is going to be really exciting. Horror, sci-fi, the one I talked about that inspired me to play around with this short film, Crawl Space. 7, what film have you seen the most in your life? Wow, that's a great fucking question. The reason why I think it's a great question is because, like, what's your favorite film is, that changes all the time. And I kind of hate that question because I'm bad at remembering sorry, I just want to make sure that okay. I'm bad at remembering kind of like what my favorite film is of that time. And that's also a very leading question. But what film have you seen the most? I can tell you for sure that it's either one of two. It's either The Shining or Seven. It's probably Seven because I remember during college I watched that so many times. I guess maybe Batman 2. Not Batman 2, but Batman as well. Somewhere in there. Maybe also Groundhog Day. But I'll just watch that movie anytime I see it, like on TV. But I guess we don't really watch TV anymore, so it doesn't really show up randomly. But I'll still watch it because it's such a great film. What other elements of the festival experience can we and other festivals implement to satisfy you and help you further in your filmmaking career? Well, that's a very generous question of you. I think the answer to that question to me would be show my film to the most amazing producers, because that's what I'm looking for right now, that you possibly can. Let me help. J.J. Abrams would be amazing. Darren Aronofsky. My feature film that I'm trying to kind of like get off the ground, or that I'm working feverishly to get off the ground right now, is very much like a David Cronenberg style sci-fi. I'm not saying that I wrote it to be that, it just turned out to be that. And I watch a lot of Cronenberg also. So in watching more of his films recently, like Scanners and Videodrome, I was thinking that maybe he or his producers would understand, and that would be... So anyway, long story short, show my films to as many people as possible. If you have some great producers, I'd love to meet them. That would be really helpful. I mean, I think ultimately all filmmakers want to make more films, probably. So what I'm really looking for now that would help me tremendously is great producers who have connections into sales agents, and great producers who have connections into bankable talent. That's what I'm looking for directly on the feature film project that I'm working on now. So since you asked, I wasn't going to bring it up, but you asked. Number 9, you submitted to the festival via Film Freeway. How has your experiences been working? How has your experiences, that's not, oh, you're Quebec. You're from Quebec, that's why. So this is not English as a first language. Maybe it's French. Okay, cool. How has your experiences been working on the festival platform site? To be perfectly honest, I submit my short films not in the traditional way that a filmmaker would. Like, I guess in the traditional kind of like cinematic universe, you would make a short film and then you would not show it to anybody, and then you would submit it to the best film festivals that you possibly could, meaning the most prestigious ones, because that's the way that you would get noticed. That's not really what I'm doing, because I made this film to showcase a product, not in service of the product, but I mean, I do believe in it. Actually, I really do like it. I wouldn't have made it and talked about it if I didn't think it was awesome. And I'm using it right now. But I made it to put on YouTube and get people to see it. And the film festival thing, I really kind of submitted more to festivals that I thought were cool or interesting. But most of the most kind of like prestigious film festivals wouldn't accept a film that was out or had been seen. No offense to you guys. It's also a horror film, so it's like most of those festivals wouldn't necessarily take those kind of films anyway. But I digress. I mean, so I think my experience using Film Freeway has been good because it does kind of what I want. Like, it's nice to have laurels on my film. And thank you, by the way, for awarding my film the best performances. So it does what I want in that it gets recognition. More people get a chance to see it. I can get just more eyeballs on it. And we can pick up awards and laurels for getting accepted and won. But aside from that, I don't really know that I'm expecting kind of like what the normal average bear is kind of looking for. Number 10, what's your favorite meal? Okay, this is totally not a film question. Favorite meal goes in 2 directions. One is health, and the other one is just pure taste. So if we're going for pure taste, I'd have to say pizza. I'm a New Yorker. I've been living in New York my entire life. Spent more than 25 years in the city itself. So for me, cheese pizza, plain, amazing. That's my favorite food. That'd be my favorite food on my deathbed. It's definitely not the healthiest food. So that's why if I were really going for my favorite meal, I would probably say some kind of like good salad that has some kind of a grilled protein on it. Yo, straight up, you asked, all right? This is my real feelings. I'm not lying. Maybe this is because you want to invite me up there and you want to give me my favorite meal. I'm totally fine with that too. It's definitely not poutine, I'll tell you that much. Y'all eat that in Canada, right? Number 11, which is the final one. What is next for you? A new film? Question mark. A new film? I've been kind of eyeing doing a sci-fi short that I wrote called Tooth Fairy, which is the story of a young child who catches the Tooth Fairy. That's what I'm kind of thinking maybe in the short term, but I'm really kind of focusing on that feature that I mentioned earlier. I'm super excited about that. I've always wanted to make a feature, and I feel very confident and very excited about that. That being said, I have a long road to go. Hopefully it's not a long road, but I mean, I have, challenges ahead of me, things that I need to figure out, things that I need to get done in order to make that happen. But that's really kind of been my number one focus. Been writing, rewriting, making decks, having tons of meetings with producers and all kinds of other people. Just kind of like doing everything I can to make that happen. So that is the future. That's what I'm planning on doing. Let's make films, as many as possible. Thank you very much to the Horror Underground Film and Screenplay Festival. I'll say that again, clean for the camera. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the Horror Underground Film and Screenplay Festival. I'm really proud of my film, Crawl Space. And I'm really excited that we won an award with you guys. Thank you so much for everything that you do to promote film. And it's a amazing medium. It will never die. Keep making films, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm out. Peace.